Justin
Tonight
Riley.
it's the Constant and Riley show because he's late.
He's late. He had to do some personal issues, or he's on a assignment, maybe interviewing a Alabama player. And we got Marvin Constant and Steve Brown. Welcome back to the
Okay,
Constant show.
I appreciate you, but this show needs to be renamed. First of all, Justin's not here, so it's the Constant and Brown show with Justin Riley. Whenever he shows up, that's the name of the show. Better yet, no, it's not. It's the Constant Brown and Gerald Dixon show, and Riley if he shows up.
See, you didn't catch the CB4 play right there. The Constant, the Brown, and Gerald was number 4. CB4. See how I threw that CB4 out there? You know what I'm saying?
I see that.
Funny, man.
So, Steve, tell us about your day, your weekend. How was it?
Hey, man, it was a wonderful weekend, man. I did, believe it or not, my weekend consisted of doing this comedy club in Auburn, Alabama. Auburn is in the middle of nowhere. Auburn is in
the trees while you was down there?
Nah, hell no. Look, Auburn is an Indian word. I found this out. Auburn is an Indian word that means nothing to do. In the middle of nowhere, so people had to come from miles around to come to the shows, but the shows are phenomenal. It's a nice club, man. And I just had a good time. And of course, like I said, I'm celebrating my fraternity's Founders Day. And we just having the ball, man. Everybody else, the whole fraternity is out partying, and I'm with Marvin Constant.
Hey, Steve, check this out though. We finna have some fun tonight, Steve. Listen, when I say tonight, we about to have some fun.
Okay, I believe that.
This is about to be good. I hate Justin missing this, but it's about to be good.
Okay. So, there it is.
So, Santiago, you gonna run this, or you come on, we with you, or
yeah, no, you're with me. Okay, Marvin, what's gonna happen tonight?
Keep an eye out. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So we got Gerald Dixon with us tonight, one of my good friends, man, great guy. When I say, man, the epitome of living the American dream, you know, because again, from where he started to where he is now, it's like a storybook ending. You know, you couldn't write a better Hallmark movie than this. You know, this guy is the epitome of perseverance. His father played a pivotal role in his life. We're gonna let him tell y'all about that. And just, man, has impacted so many lives. When I say he's the reason why I have all the degrees that I have, because he kept his foot on my neck telling me to go back to school. But although he said when I went back, I never stopped because I kept getting degrees, but that's a whole nother point. But great guy.
Mark, listen. Okay, I understand what you're saying about Gerald. Now I'm so excited, but you kind of messed up on something. We don't want his movie on the Hallmark channel. That's
you caught that? I said the Hallmark.
That's what we're talking about. Hey, keep it strong. Go ahead.
Yeah. This
put it on the right one.
Gerald Dixon was a stud at Alabama. I followed his career, so we can't put him on the Hallmark channel. We can't be looking at the Gerald Dixon story and be crying and he passed me the tissue. No, we got to put him on something else, man. We got to put him on something else. Also, we got my dude, man. Oh my God, Terry Jones is in the building, man. Hey, let me tell you something, man. I don't like none of the Joneses, but his daddy. That's it.
Hey, listen. I told y'all I had some surprises for y'all tonight. Look.
Where my godson's at, man?
Man, what's up, man? How you been?
Oh, man. Where my godsons?
Man, he at the house, man. Like I said, he up there getting in trouble and everything else. Like I said, I'm still at work. I had to sneak off for a minute so I can hop on with you. My boy Steve Brown, man, how are you doing?
Hey man, I'm good. So can your godson catch? Because you couldn't. So can your godson?
Yeah, no. No, I want to tell you, my 2 kids gonna be way better athletes than me. I'm just telling you that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you couldn't catch. I was just putting it out there. But hey man, it's good to see you, man. Your sister, man, she doing a thing in the Tuscaloosa City Schools, man. Y'all making y'all dad super proud, man. I'm proud, man. I'm proud.
Man, that family, Steve.
Huh?
That family, man, something like the Huxtables.
Yeah. No, wait, don't say the Huxtables because I don't think.
No, we don't want to be the Huxtables. No. We don't want to be the Huxtables.
But why can't we say Huxtables, the good version? We don't got it. We don't got to say that part.
Let's throw all that out. Let's just say they the Joneses. Don't.
Either way, man, great job by Big T and your moms.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like that. They did some
Uncle
good things,
Phil.
man.
And for everyone who knows that Terry Jones is a former Alabama tight end. So for everyone,
Former tight end, former Baltimore Raven, former San Francisco 49er.
Yeah.
How about those Ravens, son, Terry?
Hey, I want to talk about it right now because Sunday they look like crap to me, man. Like we went up to Frostboro, we didn't do anything, but we got to get a chance to turn it around. We don't have a receiver.
When's
Like
Des Bryant going to show up?
The ball to.
I thought Antonio Brown was gonna come to y'all. What happened with that? He got arrested again. He quit. What happened?
Tampa Bay paid his bail before we got to him.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. TJ, y'all be fine, man. Y'all got the Ravens will be just fine. I mean, everybody else is chasing second place with Kansas City, but
you're right. We'll figure it out. I'll
like
get
the Dolphins.
Run the ball.
Who?
Like the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're chasing too. Their Dolphins about 3-4 years away.
But you know what? I must say this: the Dolphins are looking pretty decent, and honestly, I would say Tua kind of bringing the offense to life. He's performing. I mean, the thing is, right now he's like a game manager, so to speak, but he's doing his thing. He hadn't thrown an interception, so you know.
Yeah, and they play good defense. That's the thing about it. Like you said, they do a really good job playing defense. So, and Tua, like you said, he handled the rock. He ain't slinging them pineapples yet. So he just throwing.
And you know
we got Tony Dixon.
And you know what, Steve? The crazy.
What my guy at?
What's up?
Oh,
what's latest?
I told y'all I had some surprises for y'all.
What's up? What's up?
Who's next?
What's up, family?
Hey, man, hey. I ain't seen you since the sideline because you ain't never getting the game.
Bro, it's been a long time, Steve. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. For those who don't know, Tony Dixon just entered the call. Former Alabama safety, former Dallas Cowboy, former Washington Redskin. It's a pleasure, brother. I told y'all we was gonna have some fun tonight, baby.
Hey, man. Hey,
Forget Justin, man.
I am thrilled to be on this interview, man. This show with all the Alabama players that didn't make a difference. I swear to God, I'm feeling good about this evening.
Oh man, y'all got my cuz on here. What's happening?
What's up, little brother?
Man, I'm good, man.
Man, good to see you,
Tony.
man.
Who's going to win the NFC East?
Who's going to win the NFC East?
Yeah.
Oh God. Whoever has the ball last.
Hey, he jumping right on. He's jumping right in on y'all. So you know, man, since Justin out here, man, I'm gonna come up with a couple of questions, man, and we can just go from there. How about this? Let's talk about Alabama's team right now. What are y'all seeing in them? What are y'all seeing? Let's start with the offense. Gerald, what do you see?
You know what? I'll go last. I'll let the older guys go ahead in front of me.
All right, TD, it's on you then.
It's on me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, no, well, one thing I'm gonna say was definitely apparent about the offense of now compared to when we played is truly an offense. It's dynamic. It's spread. You have a lot of weapons. You have top receivers that now want to come to the school. We had great receivers that was just underutilized when we were playing. So now you have the philosophy and the mindset that we're going to beat you on offense, where it used to be, hey, defense, we were going to sustain, hold you down. But today we have an offense that can beat you, even if the defense and special teams doesn't show up for the game. So when I look at that offense, that's why I say you have just threats everywhere, and I love it.
You know what it was, don't it? 3 yards in a cloud of dust, man.
It was.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah. The offenses have changed because I think when y'all guys played, they had leather helmets. But now, you know, yeah. Who want to go next?
Coach John.
Yeah, like you said, the offense is looking pretty well. Like I said, we know we can be able to pass it. Matt Jones is playing like a Heisman Trophy winner. Like you said, Najee Harris is playing like a Heisman Trophy winner. And when you quarterback playing at a high level and you're able to run the ball like we can, like you said, you're gonna be successful. And like you said, and just like you start getting them bad weather days, we're not gonna be able to pass the ball around. So I think our offensive line is starting to come around where we can be able to maul some people down. And like I said, it's for a person like me that like running the ball, and like you said, it's gonna be something fun to see a little bit later when it start getting cold.
We're number one,
Hey.
Terry.
Yeah.
So you had to remind him, like we're not a bad team.
Hey, but hey, Terry, you know what? You and Marvin, we're all from Tuscaloosa. But wouldn't it be something to see what's his name carry the ball more? B.
Brian Robinson.
Yes. We need to lobby for that, man. That dude, he carries the rock, man. He really does.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job running the ball. And like you said, it's just you behind a guy like Najee Harris, it's just hard to steal carries from him.
Yeah.
Well, if I can chime in for a second, I'll go ahead and interject. What Nick Saban's done over the last 5 years is something that we never thought was gonna happen, right? Open up the offense that was, even when his first few years were there, was running the ball and playing good defense. But college football, high school football, it's all evolved to where you have to put up points. And the way the rules are set up right now, if you're not playing the way that Alabama and the rest of the teams in the SEC are playing with the tempo, open everything up, you're not going to execute in a high level. And with a guy like Mac Jones, and I think Mac Jones is a solid quarterback, when you open the game up and you put your athletes in positions to make plays, and you're not asking them to do things that they're not, their skill set don't say they can do, I think you help yourself.
Now, you think Mac Jones is a Heisman candidate?
No doubt about it. But when you say Mac Jones, you got to look out there and say Smitty should also be up for Heisman conversations. Because I mean,
he's been doing numbers for years.
Right.
But you know what, guys? You know what? But the thing is, I say I still like the old school way that you guys play, because again, and I think I could pick it back of what you said, Gerald. The rules are different. You can't even touch receivers now.
Correct.
And back in the day, Terry, you were a tight end. You blocked and you went passes. It was hard coming off the ball. Guys challenged you. You know what I'm saying? Now you can just free. That's why all these quarterbacks now are getting 400 and 500-yard games, because you can't really touch anybody. And we're gonna talk about the defense in a minute, but I see why the defenses are not so good, because they like Marvin has said so many times, the defensive players are afraid to hit in fear of getting a targeting call and getting put out. But Marvin couldn't hit no way though. Marvin couldn't hit no damn way. But I'm just saying.
What does Marvin think about this?
But Steve, you make a very valid point. Like back when you played and you had that forearm pad full of nickels, y'all used to, y'all can't do that. No, that's outlawed. So it's a different game now.
No face fans, we're not gonna fight people.
Yeah.
And play with athletes, and Nick's doing probably one of the better jobs of putting his better athletes in position to win.
Well, interesting thing about that, the fact that Saban is running that program like a professional team. Look at special teams. Who on special teams? Starters.
On defense and offense.
Starters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was unheard of.
No doubt.
So it's a totally different mindset, man.
That cost us, but that cost us a good one, having starters on special teams too.
True. But
you gotta weigh both sides.
What do you mean?
Well, Marvin, you gotta look at it like this, right? What's Jalen Waddle's biggest asset when he first came into the into college football? What did you think about him when you started?
No. I get it. If I was the coach, I put him back there to return kicks too. I'm smart. Get him the ball any way you can. Right. What I'm saying is, you always gonna run a risk, So it's just the good comes with the bad.
Well, something. Jalen Waddle, to me, he's nothing but a second coming of David Palmer.
He's coming back.
No.
You don't think so?
No, big difference, guy.
Why?
Who is this with this 601 that keep popping up? Is that Justin?
That's Justin Riley.
It is.
Hey, Steve.
It is me, man.
Don't let him in. Don't let him in. Don't let him in.
Steve,
here's Justin.
The difference between Jalen.
What's going on?
Right?
Hey, Justin, we're talking about Waddle comparing to who, guys?
Hold on.
David
Palmer.
Hold on one second. Let me update Justin. I brought a few surprise guests. I brought Tony Dixon and Terry Jones on with us tonight.
That's right. I like that. Love a reunion.
A little surprise guest. I know you didn't know, but you know, just something to mix it up.
Justin? What's up, Justin?
What's up, guys?
So Steve and I was just gonna have a small and a quick debate about Pop and Jalen. David Palmer, guys.
Yeah.
So, like, Pop was quick, right? You couldn't touch him, but Jalen is explosive, quick, and fast. Like that combination, you rarely see. Like Pop was only gonna run a 4.5, 4.6 and catch him. Yeah, Jalen might go to the combine and go somewhere 4.2, 4.3 with explosiveness, right?
Yeah.
So when you saw Henry Ruggs is fast.
Right.
Jalen Waddle from 0 to 10, man, explosive. And then he picks up his speed with the ability to make people miss. So his skill set is truly elite and rare that you're going to find in a body type, and especially in a returner like that.
All right, so speaking of Jalen Waddle, guys, there's a buzz now that's saying he might come back. What do y'all think? And if he does come back, do y'all think he should?
Me, no. I'm gonna tell you flat out, dude, you about to get drafted in the top 15 picks. Sit down, go get your money.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs went in the top first round. He's easily a top 15 pick.
It's funny you all say that. Look, here's where I look at even Alabama. I think how Alabama continued to change the norm of college football. We had the same debate when Tua got hurt. Does he come back? Does he go to the draft? This dude didn't even have a combine, right? But the talent, to Gerald's point, it's elite talent. Once you have that elite talent, you're the decision maker. He don't have to come back. Why come back? He's proven everything he needs to in college football. I will go and get the money too.
Hey, listen, man. Like coaches always used to tell us when you go to school to get a job. If you finna get the job of your dream, so you better go get it while you can.
Yeah,
correct.
You know something?
Short-term job.
Based on what they were saying as far as his attitude, he wants to come back. So I mean, I agree with all of y'all. I wouldn't come back. I'll take the money and run. But you know, and honestly, if he does come back, that was a gruesome injury. So I'm thinking like, man, it's gonna be a while before you get back to who you were. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't risk it.
Steve, quick story. I remember when Marlon Humphrey was thinking about coming out. You know, B Hump called and said, "Smoke, what do you think we should do?" I said, "Bobby, I just finished watching him. He's gonna go in the first round. There's no reason for him to go back and do what? Prove that he can go top 5? Trying to get to that second contract, and he just did. He just got his $90 million, right? Yes. Why stick around an extra year to say, well, you know, I'm trying to help win a championship? Man, the guys that are getting paid aren't the players, and they're the ones that are gonna get screwed in the long run when they do get hurt. Everybody else is making money except the ones that are putting the butts in the seat, making the coaches money."
Well, listen, and this brings up the exact point that Steve just brought up earlier. And then that we were talking about, because the game has changed. We used to tell these cats to wait because you needed them to be more physical, right? Especially an offensive player. But the game has changed so much. Now, man, you have no reason. It makes freshman, sophomore, whatever. When you can come out, get out, and go and get that money. They don't practice. They don't have contact in practice in the NFL. Everything has changed. The whole landscape has changed. So time is different. They're ready now. A lot of these kids coming out after 1 year of college ball, they're ready.
Yeah.
And Steve, for my last chair that I was sitting in, if you top 3 rounds, come on out. You're trying to get to that second contract.
I feel you, because I'm not gonna lie, things have really changed, man. I'm sure back when y'all played, half the team left the practice field with concussions. Now the coaches are leaving the practice fields with headaches because nobody wants to be physical. So things have changed a lot, man.
Steve, we were doing full-blown scrimmages, brother.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And you know what, Steve? Even with that physical aspect, these younger players and these modern day players, they're way more physical than we were. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're more explosive than what.
No, I got to disagree with you on that one. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are. I would say they are probably better athletes or built better, but they're not physical. You got a lot of guys out there looking big as hell, cockstrong, and they ain't doing nothing on the field. I'll give you a perfect example.
I agree with that.
I ain't hating on him, but look how big Ben Davis is. Ben Davis is bigger than all of us put together.
No.
He can't, and he's been there 7 years. He can't get on the field. You got, come on, man. It's all about mindset and physicality. You can be big, like look at Marvin. Look at Marvin. Marvin foot. Where's my book? Look at Marvin. Look at Marvin. Look at Marvin. Full of muscle, but will get his ass beat at the club. You hear me? No.
Marvin rebuttal.
So
Steve, you can't bring up that name, man. I'll get kicked out. You know that's hometown.
See?
Hey, but you know what? He's gonna be back again next year because the NCAA say this year doesn't count. So you'll probably see him again next year.
Oh no, he'll fifth year. He done. He done.
With a mustache.
Nah.
With a mustache.
NCAA said this year will not count against any player, so they can all come back next year.
He don't have a reason. He got his master's.
Even Kellen Mond, who's been in Texas A&M for 10 years, Steve.
Yeah.
All right. So Steve, this is where I'm going to disagree again. All right. So when people always talk about physical and the way these young people are playing, not necessarily their fault, right? You can't blame them for the way that they're being taught how to play, right? When we were getting taught how to play the game of football, it was all, hat in hands, right? Being physical, knocking guys back, right? The game is played in space, right? Now, comparable to when all of us 40-year-old guys played. But these young people, they are stronger and more explosive than we were when we played. And when you hear the impact between 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, the whole team, you'll see the difference, right? Derrick Henry, right? Seeing him play. Now, I don't care what generation or what year that Derrick played, still a physical ball player. That offensive line that Alabama has right now, compared to when we were in school, they're gigantic compared to us. Physically, they would manhandle a lot of us up front, right? But again, the game is not emphasized in that area. So we're not looking at it and saying, oh, yeah, they're physical. Those young people are physical and tough as heck, man.
All right, well, explain this to me then. Explain this to me. Okay, back when y'all played,
We had
Alabama,
Ben Davises too now. We had some guys that looked real good and wouldn't hit nothing. So
right.
it's like,
Okay, Alabama's D-line, Alabama's whole defense were studs. Okay, they had you had your trainers, you had your strength trainers and all that. Tony, y'all had that, right? Y'all know who they were. All right, now the defense has some state-of-the-art guys that's all off in the science and all that, and they're getting their asses pushed up and down the field. They can't get any penetration. They can't get a sack. Explain that one.
All right, you know what?
Go ahead.
I'll interject with this. The one thing I can say that I see is different. It's the personality, the mind state. I'm gonna blame this on social media because everybody wants to be everybody's friend. Everybody wants to be buddy. That plays a large role into it. TJ will tell you this: when we was in practice junior, we was homeboys, but we was gonna go at it though. It wasn't, man, listen, we gonna be friends when we walk out this field, but we gonna go at it during practice. They don't do that no more. Everybody want to be buddy. Man, back when we played, wasn't no buddy. If you on another team, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Right, but Marvin, when you look at it, right, these young people can communicate with each other like easily, right? When we were playing, who had a cell phone to call up and talk, right? Who had a way to connect via social media? So yeah, we didn't see each other, we didn't care, and the only guys that we did care about is the guys that we saw every single day. So it's easy to knock these young people for what they are now, but it's just who they are. I mean, when we were coming up, them old heads knocked us too. Like they tough as us when we play, but we look at them and saying the same thing. So these young people, they are what they are, but it's a lot of it's on us, the way that we're accepting their behavior and the way that they're acting is normal. And TJ can fill you in on that. He's coaching high school ball.
Yeah, that, like you said, just the mentality of teenagers nowadays, just because from a standpoint of they got everything at their fingertips. Like I said, it's social media, cell phones. Like there's a lot of that stuff that's going on. But like you said, we worked on our craft. And I tell my kids all the time that when I'm coaching, like y'all don't go outside and just play football.
There you go.
Like y'all don't go outside and just play, throw them up, bust them up.
There
Like
you go.
y'all playing video games. And then when we come out here,
Junior.
trying to be physical. Like I just started playing football in my junior year, but I knew how to be physical by playing in the yard, playing with guys in my neighborhood. So when I got a chance to put football on, it was different then.
You know what it is, TJ?
What?
They don't drink out the hose pipe no more, man.
They don't do that.
Yeah, you're right on that.
Yeah.
TJ,
Listen, y'all are
TJ,
giving these young people for technology, right? And in the way that they're training their bodies. I wish that when we were coming up, Tony, TJ, Marvin, we had access to all of this stuff.
Now hold on.
Right.
Coming out of high school, I was benching 460, squatting 625. So
Yeah, but yeah, he coming at a different angle though, Marvin. You know, because if you think about it, during our time frame, that's when we were talking about these when T.O. and all these cats were buying these chambers that they were sleeping in. They was doing all of that was the state of the art stuff of our time, right? Now and the supplements that really started hitting heavy when we was coming out, you know, but to Gerald's point, I get what Gerald is saying. I also get what Steve is saying, because when we see things, we saw the physicality. You know, we saw that we were going head to head, head hunting. You know, if you come on the field, we could hit you. Even if you didn't have a ball, we could knock you out, right? The explosiveness that Smoke is talking about is, I truly understand what he's saying. These cats, when I go to the practice at Dallas Cowboys, every now and then I pop up and go to practice. Not like I'm saying, you know, all talent and good talent, but my point is, when you go and see these cats, how lean they are, how tough they are and physical, the torque that they have, the ability to stop and start and take off, it's totally different than when we played. I'm telling you.
Tony, you said when you go to some of the Dallas Cowboy practices, you see all this stuff, but based on their record, don't you want to just suit back up one more damn time? Goodness.
Like Dion.
I can, if I can get for one check, one play. Come on, man.
Hey, and Terry, let me ask you. Okay, where are you coaching at now, Terry?
I'm at South Cobb High School in Austell.
All right, okay, well, I need to come check y'all out. But look, being a coach, has it ever been a time where you at practice, you just wanted to put your foot in somebody's ass? Tell the truth. Tell us the truth.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Terry.
It's once or twice a week. I'm like that, and I tried a couple times. So I don't videotape practices, so I ain't got no footage or no proof out there. So I'm good.
You're off the record.
Hey, you know what, Steve? One of my biggest hiccups on what's going on, because again, I love coaching. I coach. I evaluated the talent. We've all played on every level. The thing that's missing with a lot of these young people, even and you said you want to get back to defense at University of Alabama, a lot of guys aren't teaching. A lot of these coaches aren't good teachers.
Oh
right?
my God!
There we go. Oh my God!
They're not teachers.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! I've been saying it the whole time. So Gerald, what you're saying to me is that what I've been saying all along. I know you're gonna be nice because you're a professional guy. I'm not. Okay. So the defensive coordinator is garbage. Keep it 100.
All right.
He ain't teaching.
All right. Look at it. Look at this angle, right? All right. So when when Bo Davis and Chris Trump were defensive line coaches at Alabama, right? Because again, I evaluated all those guys. We were thinking about drafting a couple of guys when I was working with Buffalo. You saw a lot of those guys getting knocked back. Like they knocked offensive linemen back. They controlled the line of scrimmage, right? They have the same caliber of players there now. I'm telling you that. They do, right? And everybody's going to say, well, they're not drinking out of the hose pipe and all that other stuff. No. It's the technique, right, on a play basis. And the standards, it's changed, right? And I know my boy Freddie Roach is there now, right? Freddie was all our little young boy when he was coming up, right? He's now the defensive line coach. I have not seen this year, in the last couple of years when they had the other guy that was there, I haven't seen offensive linemen's necks getting snapped back like when Chris Rump was there and Bo Davis with both D-line coaches. And that's where I see the whole defense is changed, right?
And hands.
Right. And the defensive coordinator, I don't know where they got him from, right? And and not to go on my
Gerald, you got him going.
No.
and not to go because TJ and I we talk all the time in Marvin. And one of the things that I thought separated Coach Saban from a lot of the coaches that I've ever been around, because I've sat in with those guys a lot. And when I was in my whole coaching spiel for 6 or 7 years before I got into scouting, Marvin, TJ, and I used to go to the Coach Saban's football camp, right? It's the best ran football camp in the entire world when you look at college football. I've worked a ton of them. I'm not going to sit here and tell, not because I went to University of Alabama. It wasn't even close. And in terms of teaching young people how to play the game proper, with technique, fundamentals, when we did the high school camp, and Marvin and TJ can answer this, when we did the high school camp and we did the little kids camp, right? It was the same technique.
Same thing.
Right? To the point that if Kirby had to instruct a particular skill or drill, they're teaching it just like they would with the Alabama players, right? And then Kirby would give it to the rest of the coaches, right? Because we're independent contractors. We were out there, he told us what to do, and we went out there, got our own position groups, and we did it. Now, Coach Saban used to walk around, right? And he used to come there and sit down and stand up and listen to you coach. And if you weren't using the same terminology that he was teaching his guys, not only would you get ripped, Kirby would get ripped, but he would step in and do the drill the right way and instruct those young men. So what I'm seeing now is either somebody slacking in terms of teaching the proper technique of playing football all the way through.
And you know what, Gerald, another thing, those same guys who are not getting penetration and who are not getting sacks, those are studs. So what you're saying is totally true. They're not being taught the right way. I've been saying this the whole year. When you got 5 and 6 and 7 stars, if that exists on your D line, and you got like how many sacks on the year, 2 or 3, and you're Alabama, that's unheard of.
That young,
Gerald's right.
Number 31, that young freshman, he's a problem.
Yeah,
he might be the best pass rusher that's come through Alabama in a long time. He can get with it, man.
Will Anderson, that's
Will
Derek,
Anderson, yeah.
That's Derek Thomas incarnate.
That young
Justin Riley's back. Wow.
He just needs to be coached up, and like you said, Gerald, coach, with those camps, he was always hands on. That was one of the things about it, even with the little kids. You're right.
Oh, man, you remember that move? I'm talking about Steve.
Hey, Gerald.
Kids.
Hey, Gerald, after the first day of camp, they in the dorm room hiding their tuck water. They don't even want no more. They don't even want to come back. Steve, they like, I ain't signed up for this. I just came for a picture with coach. All this extra stuff, y'all can keep.
Steve, I'm gonna tell you how detailed he was, right? He probably still is, right? We used to have to sit down and write evaluations on each kid.
Yep. In
our position group, right? And I'm not talking about you can make it up. Oh yeah, Marvin Constant needs to work on his hand. No, detailed. So when that young person left, he had something to work on whenever he returned back home. And Coach Saban used to go through, and if he had 1,050 young people in his camp, he went back through and read every single last one of them.
Wow.
And signed them.
Probably twice.
And send them to the kid.
Gerald.
I've seen it myself.
Gerald, TJ, y'all remember that youth camp when he was out there cussing them kids out, and the camp director called us up talking about y'all need to quit cussing at the kids because he didn't want to talk to coach.
Yeah.
I remember. Tell coach to stop cussing at the kids. He was the one cussing. We weren't cussing at no kids.
He lit into, you remember the day that it was real hot out there? And he always has what's his speech? Woe it's me. and he went off on. I mean, there were 9 and 10-year-old kids.
Hold on, hey, Gerald, you got to put this part in the story too. Half of them was a little bit taller than the bag, so they could barely even step over the bag. He trying to run through the bag, coach. They can't even step over the bags.
We had Marvin. You remember the day we had TJ? You remember the day that we had to start the entire camp over? We halfway into it, and it wasn't going the way that he wanted to. He got the horn, blew it, pop, 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 pop. Started over. We went back to stretch.
Yeah, we're talking about 7 to 13-year-olds.
So let me ask y'all guys a question. Do y'all think that the coaches now are a whole lot more lenient because of this so-called transfer portal thing? Because now you just say, "Hey," at a player, they're ready to transfer.
Oh, you know what? Let me answer real quick. I got this one.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you what I really think. This is what I see, and this is what I think. I might be totally wrong here, but I think as coach has gotten older, he's starting to worry about his legacy. So he's giving more control to the younger guys who are gonna go on to say, "Hey, this guy came from the Nick Saban coaches tree." So he's giving them a lot more responsibility than he did in the past. You know,
Marvin. Listen, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing in me gonna believe that he gave all this authority to Pete Golding.
Not all, but more than he did in the past. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that, Steve, because I feel like now he's taking more control back because I don't feel like he really fully trusts Golden and maybe some of the other coaches. I don't know about Freddie Roach. I'm a Freddie Roach guy, but I gotta think that he doesn't fully trust Golding. So I think a lot of what we're seeing defensively right now is a direct correlation to Nick Saban himself. I could be wrong. I mean, what do you fellas think?
Or I think that maybe he's starting to unleash more of Charlie Strong. Now that you got to understand something, you can't fault Freddie Roach at all. He's a positions coach and he's doing what he's told to do, and then he's a linebacker, but I guess he's learning the D line. If that makes sense.
Steve, he's been around the D line for a long time. Listen, I'm not knocking Freddie as a coach. It's just my standard and expectation for that university is so high because you've seen it, right? It's a standard that's there. Mm-hmm. That once you fall off, you're looking back like, hold on. And now I get the whole fact of them holding teams to 17 or 18 points like they did 10 years ago. It's not happening anymore. The rules aren't going to be
7 points, 6 points.
Yeah, whatever those points are,
right?
The rules aren't going to allow you to do that anymore, right? But when I watch those guys on film and you don't see attitude plays, you don't see
no toughness.
You're right.
That inside zone used to get knocked back by this defensive lineman, and he used to eject and forklift this offensive lineman into the backfield, and you saw the inside linebacker step up and smack, and it was no more forward, lean, running backs going forward. Like, I'm sitting there like the most disgusting play that I saw last year was, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, was in the LSU game when the little running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, got hit for 3 yards. And then he pushed the pile for 5 more and got a first down.
More than one.
TV off.
No attitude plays last year.
And then you see a Nick Saban team with 12 on the field. Nah. The details ain't happening.
Another thing that I've noticed as well is they're not. Now Marvin kind of defended this a little bit, but I'm with Marvin a little bit, but then again I'm straddling the fence. They're not hitting anymore. What they're doing now is reaching and trying to strip the ball. It's no hitting. Like for instance, when they make contact with the ball carrier is getting an extra 3 to 4 yards because they're trying to pull the ball away instead of hitting them.
Right. So
I think it has a lot to do with that targeting. They don't want that targeting.
So Steve, when you look at it, right, like hitting, like what Tony used to do to people, take their souls, right?
Yep.
When TJ used to block people, TJ used to try to drive them through the earth. And I've seen him do that. We used to make passes like TJ, really, don't even, we only want it today like that, right? But No, listen,
If,
TJ. Marvin can sit here and talk all that they want. If TJ caught him on the line of scrimmage, it's a matchup.
but
Right?
look at TJ. If TJ didn't do it, he'd get a whooping. His daddy was there.
Hey, but I'm gonna go back
Right.
and like Smoke talking about it, but it's all fundamentals.
All
Like
fundamentals.
these guys are such great athletes that coaches don't teach these kids the little bitty thing.
Right.
Like I said, I'm gonna tell you this from a high school standpoint, and I guess there are schools around here that I see they got tremendous athletes. There's a high school down here, Langston Hughes. They got some 10th graders out here. They're like a small JUCO, but their defensive coordinator does such a great job of teaching them details and teaching them the fundamentals. So somebody go back to their high school coaches, but then you get some of these college coaches where they just worry about them kids being athletic, and they be like, "Oh, he's good enough to get around here." So that's why you don't see that knockback or see them push or see them bench pressing, because they think they're good enough athletes just to jump around it.
Right.
And then that's when you see guys pushing the pile for 5, 6, 7 yards, or you see the inside zone, because it's all about details and fundamentals and being disciplined. And so that's the difference. Like you talk about the difference between our generation and generation now is we was a lot more disciplined, because we, like you said, we weren't as great athletes as some of these kids are. Yeah. So they'll sit here and jump around because they're good enough athlete to chase it down from the backside. But you get a guy, somebody, like you said, like a Kenny Smith or like a Moorhead, that'll sit here and squeeze and go down the line and do the little bitty things and make those tackles. So like you said, Moorhead, anybody look at Kendall Moorhead, you would not think he would be a good football player that he is looking at his body. But the little bitty things that he did, like you said, his eyes played, eye discipline. Like those are things that kids don't do.
So he was Kendall was built like an IV bag. Yep.
Like, but it's the truth.
No, you straight up, man. And I got 2 teenage boys right now that's playing, and I'm not gonna get off on that tangent, but just to build on what you all were saying, it was an anomaly if you ran up on someone that was more athletic than you, could beat you when we played.
Right.
Today is the athleticism weighs more. So my boys, even though I don't coach them, I haven't been in the coaching profession, but I know just from technique, it's the little things, your foot placement, this angle, that angle. I sit down with my boys for 5 minutes, and I've taught them more than the coaches taught them a whole season. This is high school. Now to go back to what we're seeing with Alabama, I still think it's just part of that process that we've seen, because NFL, the quality of what you've seen on NFL defense is going down year after year. The quality in college is going down year after year. The reason Alabamas, the Clemsons, and Georgias and all these have been sustaining is because they've still been teaching the technique. And I think now it's catching up to where you're getting these high-power recruits. When they coming in, they ain't trying to hear this technique. They came through a whole little school and everything of winning athletically. So they don't think technique matters.
Tony, you know what it is though, Tony? I'll tell you, this is what I've seen. I've seen a lot of coaches, head coaches, pick coaches who they say were good recruiters, but they're not good technicians, good at teaching technique. It's like these coaches are valuing coaches who good at recruiting just so they can get the guys in. But if you're not developing them once you get there, what is the point?
So I'm gonna make 2 points, and I'm gonna hush on this note and let y'all take it. But this goes back to, why would you tell somebody like Waddle to come out right now? Because if you're going to the NFL based on athleticism, it's not going to last long. You're trying to get to that second contract and it's over. And the chances of you as a safety cornerback getting to an NFL team where somebody's going to teach you technique that you hadn't attained, you're not going to get it. So what does that mean? The days of playing, seeing what we're seeing now, people playing 15, 16 years, when that athleticism goes away, what do you have to fall back on? Technique.
Hey, fundamentals.
And if you don't have
something, so let me ask y'all this. So is it safe to say that, I think Gerald mentioned something about space. The game is going away from smash mouth into whoever you can find in space, pretty much, on offense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's still physical, but
to a point.
Right.
But I tell you one more thing. I'll let Gerald get to it in a second. I'll tell you one other thing. A lot of the coaches, when you start seeing them, they are textbook coaches. where they haven't actually done the plays. They haven't actually played the game. They haven't actually been out there they haven't been in the trenches.
Right.
And then so you're trying to ask them to do something that they have never physically done. Like, this is the thing about it. Tony probably ain't backpedaled in ain't no telling how many years, but he knows the footwork where he can go out there and see it like he's doing with his sons and be able to teach them those little bitty things. Like saying, I do the same thing with my 10 and my 8-year-old. I go out there and they want to play football. And like you said, just because I'm coaching now, I'm teaching them little bitty things about, all right, this how you catch the ball. This how you run a route. This how you get into a stance. This how you attack somebody. This how you tackle somebody properly. And and there's a lot of coaches now, like Marvin said, they great recruiters. They never played the game.
Right.
They got a mouthpiece and they can talk the game, but they ain't never done it. They ain't never actually played the game, and they ain't never seen it come at their full speed. So they don't know how to teach somebody how to use their hands, how to backpedal, how to play the coverage, how to play the ball in the air.
But you know what? I've done my research on Pete Golding. He hadn't played for nobody. I ain't seen him on the PlayStation. I ain't seen him. He ain't even got a yearbook.
You guys are killing
nobody.
You guys are killing Pete Golden, right? You guys are all over Pete, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Weekly.
Gerald is Team Pete.
Steve, here's what you got to understand, right?
I'm obsessed with it.
Right. Right. Pete Golden didn't hire Pete Golden, right? Pete Golden is not the one that every week going out and he's the boss of Pete Golden, right? Pete Golden has the boss. And you always put it back on the head of the group. Whoever is leading that group is really in charge, right? So if you are allowing someone to do the job at whatever level that he's doing that, it's on you. Like, you have the chance to hire whoever you want to hire. If you want to hire Pete Golden and have Pete Golden run your defense, that's on Pete.
All right, so Gerald, let me ask you this. You want a job at Alabama as a defense coordinator?
I'm good, man. I'm fine.
He wants it. He wants it, Steve.
If Muschamp doesn't,
Tony, what about you? Tony, you want
All right, so
Terry,
Steve,
I'm corporate, brother. I'm a businessman.
yeah. Okay, well, hold on, we got one more. Terry, you want to go back and be the defensive coordinator at Alabama? I mean,
I'm an offensive guy, so I'm the offensive guy.
hey, you're coaching fundamentals. That's what we need right now. So
yeah, that's all we need.
I mean,
tackling, being where you're supposed to be, the small things like we've been talking about. And that's what's been missing.
So, okay,
day.
so Steve and Justin, right?
Yes.
Okay. Study the entire SEC and give me 3 schools that are playing good defense.
Nobody.
ITT Tech, DeVry.
Well, in all fairness, before Georgia's players got hurt, they were probably playing the best defense in the conference until they started losing players. But as a whole, you're right.
That's an excuse, right? When Georgia who was Georgia playing, putting up those numbers?
Exactly, because you know what, they were playing cupcake teams before they played Bama, and then those numbers started to diminish.
Right now, when you look at it, just like a lot of people are going to say, well, Cincinnati's playing real good defense.
They ain't playing nobody.
There you go. Now, when you have to line up and you have to play against 3 quality receivers, right, with the running back that can get in your job at any point, with a left tackle that's going to be taken in the first round, with a quarterback that's playing real good. Now, how good of a defensive coordinator are you, right? So, I mean, Pete Golden's gave up a ton of points against Ole Miss, but Ole Miss has been digging in Alabama for a while now. Like,
Yes, sir.
He's not the only one that's giving up points. So, I'm not here.
Hold on, Gerald, hold on. I'm calling the athletic director at Alabama. We're finna get you a damn job.
Yeah, see,
he ain't answering.
Because
Probably because that flip phone you pulled
The
out.
flip phone.
Hey, man, get out of my damn business.
Because if you look at it, if I go back and you look at it, you say Jeremy Pruitt and Kirby Smart, right? Kevin Steele, when they were defensive coordinators for Alabama, like Alabama defense was pretty good.
Right.
Right.
Look at the assistant coaches and look how long they stayed around. And now you look at who's getting hired at Alabama, right? The same quality coaches aren't there, in my opinion, right? People will knock me for saying it, in my opinion, because when you coach, you are a teacher first, right? When I coach, I taught, right? Most coaches that came up the Bill Parcells, the Belichick, and all those guys, they were teachers, right? So if you're not, I don't care how well you can recruit and how good that you get the 5 and 6 star players in, whatever star that they are, right? If you can't break those young men down and teach them the game of football, right, and play it at a high level,
It's a waste of time.
I respect you as a coach. Like you can go out there right now with Alabama on your chest and go get whoever you want. I'm telling you that. They don't have a lot to do with recruiting. But when you get the talent and you cultivate it, and you say, you know what? I remember when that guy couldn't run a route. And now you saying, man, look at him route him up. Like, Julio Jones is the best receiver in NFL history to me. When he was at Alabama, there's a reason why A.J. Green went in front of him. Because he wasn't getting taught how to play receiver. Right?
Come on, Gerald.
Wasn't getting taught.
Well,
Guys,
we were
question from the YouTube chat. Do you think Nick Saban will reunite with Will Munchamp next season?
Hell no. Hell
Marvin?
no.
Really? You don't
Marvin?
think that'd be consideration?
Let me fall back on my tangent now, right? So, to me, what's missing right now in the game of football at every level, from players, the evaluators, and the coaches, is a whole way of developing and cultivating your talent around you. Coaches develop coaches, right? And I hate seeing coaches fail forward, right? You've seen so many of these SEC coaches and defensive gurus. They go somewhere and they get those mollywop knocked out of them. So now that they lose their job at whatever university, you pick them back up and say, all right, come in my building because I know that the way that we played ball 50 years ago, you can still do it. Well, to me, what about those young people that's around there that's been working their tails off? Have you developed them yet to become a defensive coordinator? Right? So I'm good on Munchamp. If he gets a job, he gets a job. I'm not knocking anybody from working and feeding their families. But, I mean, we saw him at Florida. We saw him at South Carolina. What's going to change?
He was a bust. He was a bust. He was a bust. I'm with you, Gerald. Develop who you got.
Develop who you got.
And now I would make one switch up. I would take Golding off the field and put Charlie Strong.
My question is he developing a fantasy football league for coaches over there? I mean, because you got all these former head coaches who didn't make it at Alabama. I mean, what are we doing with all these former head coaches?
All right, so
he ain't got Coach Pete over there.
Like everybody wants to get pushed ahead, right?
Right.
So when you look at Alabama, right? If you get sneezed on by Nick, right? Everybody's gonna say you're a great coach, right? If Tua threw a pass for you, you're gonna say I developed Tua into a great quarterback, right? If Tua ran your offense and put up the craziest numbers since whoever, Joe Burrow's probably the only one that put up numbers like he did. Like now you get called a guru, but it's not necessarily the truth, right? You got to go back and really research a lot of these guys and figure out where they've been and what they've done with the talent around them and how they developed that talent.
Marvin, TJ, and Gerald, Big Ray says hi.
Which Ray?
Big Ray. No idea who that is.
We all know who Big Ray is then.
Ray Marshall.
Ray Marshall.
Hey!
And Tony.
You gotta be Ray Marshall.
So Ray didn't say hello to me. Ray didn't say hello to me.
Me neither, Steve.
I don't think he knows you.
What?
Everybody knows Steve. Man.
Yeah, everybody knows Steve.
Remember Steve on BT.
And you know what, man? Let me say this, Gerald. Now you said something about the coaches or whatever. And I would say this. Now right now Alabama is dominating the NFL. You know that.
Amen.
They came from Saban. They came from the Saban tree.
Mm-hmm. But look at the coaches though.
Yeah.
Look at Maryland's head coach. Look at Colorado's head coach. Look at all these head coaches that left Alabama. A lot of them are sucking right now. They really are.
Well, I'll give
all right, Marvin. So okay, you say all of them, okay?
Not all of them. I said a lot of them are sucking right now.
All in perspective, right? So the hardest thing to do is when you leave a place and you're truly not confident in your own ability, take that place with you and you try to run wherever you go as if it's Alabama,
Ain't gonna
or you
happen.
try to take that name that came with you and
Yeah.
say it's Coach X. You try to be like Coach X. Now, the coaches that have been successful, that from the Saban tree, are the guys that formed their own way of doing it and also
Right.
implemented a lot of what Coach Saban has taught them. Right. So you got
Right.
Jimbo. Jimbo is a successful coach. You'd say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing pretty well.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Texas A&M is really slipping up
Right.
the rankings.
Right.
Right.
Well,
But-
the quarterback is 25 though.
Right.
I thought he was 31.
But
Yeah.
it's the same thing with a lot of the guys that leave Belichick, right? They try to be mini Bills, and you can't do that. But if you go back and you study your history and you look at the guys that left the Bill Walsh coaching tree, those guys are successful, right? Because they were allowed to be themselves, and they weren't dominated by an overbearing personality over a period of time, right? So Kirby's been successful. Why? Because Kirby's always been Kirby,
All right.
Yep.
right?
I can agree
Even
with that.
under Nick, Kirby was always
Kirby,
Kirby.
yeah.
But a
Right.
lot
He was
of these
also allowed to
coaches-
be.
A lot of these coaches, you don't see their personality. And like you said, even with Belichick, okay, yeah, Belichick won a lot of games. You work for Belichick, but you got Tom Brady, you can win. Same thing at Alabama. When you got the best horses in the stable, it's easy to win. Now, when you go to a team that doesn't have the same level of talent, you got to coach. You got to be able to coach for real.
Okay,
So when you don't have that,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna add one more dynamic in here.
Go ahead, throw it on me, Palm.
I'm gonna add one more dynamic, and here's the dynamic. When you talk about Belichick, when you talk about Saban, when you talk about all these coaches are great, but once you establish that process, the players run it.
Yeah, it's a player's game.
It's a player's game.
Yeah,
So it goes back to if you have these upperclassmen that don't know the techniques and the talent, have the talent to coach up the younger classmen,
Right.
it puts more pressure on those coaches who are classified a guru because they've had all these first round picks, but their coaching hadn't proved it.
right?
So
Right.
you know what, Tony? You know what, Palm? So if we even step away from football, when you said upperclassmen and leadership, I remember when I showed up to Bama, right? And you guys remember crazy hair. I had the broken hand.
I was like, y'all assigned me to him tonight? Oh, hell.
Hey, Steve, listen. In about the first 2 days, they was like, listen,
You got to go.
you got to go, right? But I remember Tony sitting me down, right? And we're talking about schedules, and he was like, "Hey, listen, man, what do you want to do?" Because I remember I said in an article I want to graduate because I was going to be the first one out of my family to graduate. My dad being Jamaican, come to the United States on maybe a 5th or 2nd grade reading level, right? Illiterate for most of the part, right? So I'm coming out, I'm saying, listen, I'm the 6th out of 7, right? There's 7 of us. And Tony sat me down and said, all right, listen, this is what you're going to do. Make sure you go to your advisor and let your advisor do your schedule. Because if you want to stick around here for 6 or 7 years and not get a daggone degree, yeah, you keep on letting that guy, and I ain't going to put his name out there, that guy do your schedule. Because you're going to be eligible, but you're not going to graduate, right?
Get that guy finna retire.
Right? So I'm sitting here like, man, why does this guy have so much interest in me? I know we got the same last name, but he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So when he put that in my head, anybody else that came up under me, same thing. When I was coaching, all my players graduated with master's degrees. So when I had the chance to talk to my man Marvin, I'm like, Marvin, you know what? We sitting around here and, we've had success off the field, on the field. Like we need to graduate.
Hey,
So
Gerald.
I went back and finished up.
Hey,
I stayed in
Gerald.
Marvin's ear every day.
Hey, Gerald, let me interject one quick thing. I finally told Tony that we used to be watching him. Like, why is Tony doing this? We like, why Tony? We always try to figure out why Tony doing what Tony. Me and Gerald used to be watching you.
Like, I'm sitting there like, why is Tony is the only one in the business school on the team dressed up? He's showing up in period 5, and he don't even care what Coach Cheese or Dubo's saying to him because he's gonna graduate.
Yeah.
Like Tony, you are way ahead of us. NFL
Yeah.
Way ahead of the game.
still was gonna graduate. Like we're sitting here like, man, we're gonna go back to the dorm, have fun, A, B, C, and D, and Tony sitting there studying, showing up to class on time, taking notes, dressed the part, look apart. He's always been model ready. But I sat
What's
back,
up?
if Tony's doing it, I'm gonna knock it out too.
Gerald, you should be the coach.
Hey,
I was. I
Gerald,
coached for several years at the Citadel. I
you
got,
did.
yeah,
Hey, Gerald,
yeah.
real quick while you're talking about how you got to Alabama, can you actually tell a story about how you got to Alabama and how Dabo Swinney discovered you? I love the story. I don't know if you've told it yet, but this is a pretty cool story if y'all hadn't heard it.
So, back in high school in Burtonsville, Maryland, Paint Branch High School, I had the opportunity to play with the number one player at that time, Darnell Dockett. So everybody in America was coming up to the school. Now I was a recruit. I was being recruited, but I wasn't highly as recruited as Donnie was. And Coach Sweeney came up, and I'm in the hallway. I'm walking through, but my high school head coach Bob Winder grabbed him. And was like, "Hey, listen, I know you came up here to watch Dockett, but check this guy out, right?" Long story short, like what I did on film, and offered me a scholarship. So then he turned the story into I went up to get the cow, but I ended up coming back with the calf, and the calf became the cow. So that's
What's
how
up?
long Coach Sweeney and I go back, and we still talk weekly. And I'm so happy for what he's doing out there in at Clemson, man.
Jared, real quick, what do you think about the whole recruiting system, like the ratings and everything? You for it, or you're not really agreement with it?
I'm for anything that helps the player, right?
Okay.
So when we were coming up, and I know everybody's going to say, well, these kids have too much, followers and too much clout. Listen, when I was coming up, I did stories just so I can get some recognition, right? I made sure that I wanted to be in the era of being my own hype machine, right? If I was out right now and I was coming out, I would have gone viral for some of the stuff that I said. Know that. I did a couple of articles and I'm blasting people just so that when you hear about Gerald Dixon or Smoke, like it's gonna come with something. Because I read a lot of Ricky Henderson's book and all that other stuff and Dion, because we all came up in the time of prime time and selling ourselves. As much as our generation say, these guys are doing this on social media. If we had social media, we would go nuts. All of us was looking for a camera when we played. I don't care who said what. Marvin did extra curls so he can go out and have a gun show.
Yeah.
Tony knew when he took his helmet off that he had that smooth bald head and he had that model look going, and he was the all-American guy, right? TJ knew that he was young Mace looking type guy. So everybody had their own little tree to go under and get some shade up under there too. And they really was looking for the light. Like these young people, they're doing what they're doing, but at some point fame gets into your head and you lose the process of becoming a professional, becoming a true artist and perfecting your art. And that's where we had guys like Tony, Cornelius Griffin, Chris Samuels, that was always on our backs and telling us, listen, I don't care how good that you think you are, you still got to keep working at your craft. And I don't think these young people are doing the same. They're doing it just so they can have a YouTube video or
Be Instagram famous.
yeah. I was looking at to impress Tony and Train and Kef so I can get some props when I walked in the room as being a young guy, as they're saying they can trust me when I got on the field. That's what I did it for. I didn't do it for everybody else. I did it for all the guys that was in my room that I didn't want to laugh at me.
What do
I
you think,
did
Tony?
so I could talk trash after I knock people out.
let me piggyback off of that. For each of you guys, who were some teammates that really challenged you and made you better as a player?
I'll go last. You older guys go first.
I think you're
they old, man. All them dudes are 96 to 97. I'm young and fresh. I just hit 40 the other day.
That's what's up. Young man.
Nah. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
tell you, like you said, I start off like, but like somebody like Tony, like I said, guys like that that's from, like I'm from Tuscaloosa, he from Pickens County, he from West Alabama, and guys that you get a chance to kind of know. And like I said, I never knew Tony before he got there, but we was 20, 30 minutes away. But if you start seeing them older guys and seeing the things that they did, and you want to kind of model those guys, like I got a chance to be around Chris, while he, like you said, while he was developing. Like you said, all those different type of guys. Even like it was a tight end that was there before me. He was a walk on, and like just listening to him, understanding the process, and like I said, that's kind of what made me want to become a coach, because I saw how these guys coached me up coming up in my days when I was a freshman, coming off a knee surgery, ended up getting a chance to play the two freshmen. Like you said, it's just Paul Hogan.
guys like that, you get the chance to watch those guys, like you said, be a professional day in and day out. And like you said, just like it's so many of them. Like you said, all the guys that we keep up with, when we get a chance to sit down and have a drink, like you said, you can tell like we had a lot of mutual respect for each other the entire time while we was there.
Yeah. No, man, I'll be honest, man. As crazy as this may sound, and I know some people not even gonna like to hear it. It wasn't a lot of guys that I truly looked up to when I first got to that program. You know, a little bit. My class was the first full recruiting class coming off of that sanctions that they had from some issues after '92. You know, so it was a lot of cats. Now I can name some people like the Kelvin Siglers of the world, right? There were just quality people and was out there doing it. But I'll tell you, man, who impacted me the most were truly the coaches. I'm not saying it because Junior's on the phone, but his dad was like a big thing to me, man. So, so for me, coming from a school where athleticism outweighed, I didn't know what the hell a cover 6 and all that was coming from the school I came from. So I literally had to become a student of the game to understand how to play it. So I had to rely more on the coaches to teach me that. So I inherently had to pass it down to people like Gerald. You know, they came in and say, hey, this is what I got. And I tried to mimic or at least have the championship mindset that I thought was needed to get us where we're trying to go. Because people don't understand how trash how bad we were, because we didn't have a talent. We would play a team hard for about 2 quarters, but we couldn't sustain it because we just didn't have the depth. Right. So it was very hard in some cases to latch on to some of the upperclassmen that I had because they came off the draft of winning the '92 championship, if you will. All those cats left. The big boys, Rudds, Ralph Staden, all these cats left a couple years before I got there. So it was truly rebuilding. So with me, it was more coaches than players.
Tony, you made a very valid point, man. When I say very valid, because Coach Rousey was probably the most influential person to me because the guy who was in front of me, he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to tell me nothing because he knew I was coming for his head. Exactly. So he and our lockers were beside each other, 44 and 45. But when I say he had nothing for me, he didn't want to talk to me at all. So, Coach Rousey was definitely the most influential person to me at Alabama because no matter what it was, he was always the person, hey, you do this right, do this, do this, do this. But the guy who was in front of me, he ain't had nothing for me.
No.
I tell you what, guys.
Anytime you self-conscious, you're gonna lose your job to a cat coming in. Come on now, you're not gonna give your all to the cat.
He didn't give me nothing at all.
So yeah, that's and see, I saw the same thing in NFL, so that's a whole nother conversation.
Marvin told the papers that the guy who was there previously, good thing he left.
Marvin got to let that go.
He told him a good thing he left because he was about to have his position taken anyway.
Hey man, listen, I got in so much trouble.
He ruined him.
I got in so much trouble for that. Dubose called me into his office. He had the paper in his hand. What is this? I was like, well, the man asked me a question. I answered him honestly, Coach. What you want me to do? You want me to lie to the man?
And Travis Carroll was never the same after that. His career was garbage.
So if y'all didn't know this is what the reporter asked me, what did you think about Travis leaving? I said, well, it didn't matter to me. I was planning on starting whether he was here or not anyway. So it is what it is. And he printed it just like that. Next day, Dubose got me in his office. What is this?
Well, just to piggyback off that, what Tony said and what Marvin said, and even my man TJ. When I first came down there, I'm coming from, Burtonsville, Maryland. Half the time, I didn't even understand what Big TJ was saying to me, or Tony, or Marvin, or Luke. I'm sitting there just shaking my head like, all right, yeah, I got you. But our position group really helped me, and with all the guys that was in front of me that I looked up to, right? The Kef Baileys, Milo Lewis, Tony Dixon, Marcus Spencer, right? All those guys, like, they put their arms around me because it wasn't that I was a knucklehead, but at any time, I'll go off.
Straight snap.
And Tony and Trey knew it. So when they started when they started seeing me go off, it just kind of just grabbed me. It's like, hey, listen, Smoke, calm down. And I had so much respect for those guys because they did it the right way, right? They prepared the right way. They practiced hard. There were guys that were going to class. So half the time, if I knew that I missed class, yeah, I'd let Big TJ get me before Tony or Train or Kef heard about it, so they could report it back. And they wasn't even reporting it back to Coach Cheese. It was coming straight to me, and Cheese said, "Hey, listen, go check them. Because if y'all don't check them, I'm gonna check y'all." So so being one of the younger guys that really looked up to him, I wanted to model my game after Tony and Kef. And even though Kef Bailey and I were in competition for playing time, it was never an issue. Right?
Nope.
I was over those guys' apartments every single Thursday to go over the game. And they were helping me as much as anything, teaching me how to play the game because I only like TJ, I started playing the game late. I never played organized football till the 9th grade. So getting to Alabama was my 5th year playing organized football. So I didn't know much until Tony, Train, and I really sat down and took all that stuff and learned it. And again, I never wanted to disappoint those guys when they made a particular check because Tony wasn't going to talk to you. Tony's going to give you a signal. And you looked at Tony, and Tony gave you that look like, you don't know? I say, Tony, I got it. I'm just going to press it and get it out of the
way. Hey, Gerald, you know it used to be funny when Tony wouldn't hear my calls in the game, boy. Tony used to be so mad at me when he...
Speaking of that, Tony, how much did you have to make up for Marvin's mistakes? I mean, tell us a good story about that.
Man, I couldn't make up for Marvin's mistakes. Marvin made all the damn tackles, man. Even when he made a mistake, he got the tackles. I was like, dude, think about it. Yeah, well, people don't understand. When Marvin got hurt, he still was the leading tackler on the team for several weeks, man.
That was true. That's true.
Championship game.
Yeah. So even when he messed up, he was making the right play. He was one of those players, and they say, when you mess up, you better mess up fast.
Right.
He was that guy. Even when he messed up, he made it look good.
That's because I knew I had a secondary behind me that I could trust.
I'm sorry, y'all. I had to run.
And he didn't let me forget that, by the way, either. The year he got hurt, he didn't let me forget that I did not come back and be the leading tackler on that team.
Yeah. Marvin was a problem.
I had to leave and look for a new defensive coordinator for Alabama. Where were we now?
we going memory lane of these 40-year-old washed up old talking about Marvin was out there running down people and now barely hobbling and want to be a daggone model.
Hey man, we shot this pilot for TNT for Beast Mode, man. I was shooting with a Nika Noni Rose, man. You want to talk about some fun? Man, woo.
Look at him name dropping. Like just right?
That's not
real, bro.
So here's one of here's why Travis didn't really like you, Mook. And I don't think you
It wasn't about S's and O's.
No, so Tony, when you beat out the guy in front of you, you were humble. You know, we walked around.
Right.
Yeah, when Marvin beat, I told y'all I was gonna do it.
Right.
Right. Like at some point, you know, the guys that was in front of me knew that I was coming, right? And at some point it was gonna happen. But I never went over there and said, "Hey, I'm telling y'all, here it is. Your lock is next to me. I'm gonna take your job."
But Gerald, a lot of that was because I was angry though.
Yeah, be humble. It's okay.
I was angry though.
Good looking.
They red-shirted me and they pissed me off. They pushed the button. See, if they hadn't pushed that button, it wouldn't have went like that.
They didn't have to push no damn button. The button was already pushed.
Let's go, Terry. Come on, Terry.
Yeah, get him. Tell it, TJ.
Hey, Marvin, I know you since the 6th grade. The button been damn pushed since I've known you. They ain't nobody had to push no damn button.
He came out the blue with the button push. That button wasn't even activated.
Thank you.
You can't even be humble at some point. Like, you say, hey, you know what? Every time he tells the same story, I was going to take this job anyway. Like, you can change it at some point. Just be like, hey, you know what? I just got bigger, stronger, faster, got a better understanding of defense, and it was inevitable. It happened.
No, you ain't going to from him? No, never.
Anyway.
No. He was trash. He was just holding my position until I got there. He can't even bench 400. He can't bench 400.
I didn't say all that now.
I benched 400 in the 5th grade.
Like, Mook, if
Justin,
you wanted
Wearing the
don't you
Hulkamania
start,
t-shirt.
Justin.
if Marvin, if Mook, if you really wanted defense to get better, you just said, you know what, Travis, I think you can play the Sam linebacker a little bit better.
But you know what, Gerald?
Like,
I
we'll
wish
fire Mac 10 over there at will, and our defense is better instead of running the man off.
I wish he had it, and that would have worked out so much better. I wanted the man to stay. You know, it's 3 different linebacker positions. We could, he didn't have to go. One of us just was gonna have to change positions, But he decided to go because I guess
he. Hold on. What do you mean? He quit? What happened?
He transferred to Florida.
He ran him off.
Damn, Marvin, really?
Yes, really. Yes, really.
Thank you, Mook.
Hey, hold on. But Tony, you was there, and TJ, you was there. Gerald, you weren't there yet, my freshman. Y'all gotta admit, I was out there executing folks in practice though.
Man, yeah, you was good.
You got that balling.
Now, Marvin, you want to say like you. So what about those matchups you and Boogie?
Now I'm Smoke.
Oh.
We used to go at it.
Ooh.
Me and Boog used to go at it now. I give him that. Me and
Mm.
Boog used to go at it every day.
And
It was a 50-50 battle.
oh, so somebody did beat you. I got you.
Oh, wait a
Wait
minute.
a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Everybody not hitting balls,
Wait a
but-
minute.
Wait a minute. Time out.
you go.
Everybody know, except for these white boys, when you get in a fight and you say it's a tie, that means your ass lost.
Not where I came from. Not where I came from, man. That's a loss.
Hey, I'm saying, man.
Ain't no glory in a tie.
Hey man, what happened? Y'all was fighting. What happened, man? It was a tie. No, bro, you lost. You lost. Marvin,
He blocked me. Okay, he blocked me. Sometimes I beat him. Sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah.
Marvin, you lost. You can't, because if you won, you won.
But then
Not
he'll tell
every
us.
time.
He'll
But,
tell us.
but Boogie gave him a good matchup. That was
Yeah.
those 9-on-7
Woo,
drills that
Go
Tyson
half
had.
line.
boy,
Woo!
boy.
You heard thundering,
Yes,
cracking
sir.
like y'all used to go at it.
Oh yeah.
man.
Big McClintock, you.
Oh my God.
No, McClintock just used to try to cut me all the time. He ain't never wanted. That's all McClintock used to do. Dive at my ankles.
All
Like,
right,
come on, man.
so hold on. So y'all saying that back then y'all heard a lot of thunder and all that stuff. Now y'all hear excuse me, pardon me, can I come by? Would you like to? Is that what you're hearing in defense now?
Pretty much, yeah. Hey, do
Steve-
you mind if I tackle you?
Steve,
Yeah, that's what you hear.
I'm telling you, if you go down on that sideline and you hear some of those collisions with 250 and 300-pound men, like young people running with the force and hit each other, it's violent. It's just they're not playing in close confined space anymore like we
I'm
did.
about to say the same thing.
It's spread out. So it's hard to be that impactful every single time when you have 10 yards and Jalen Waddle is going to make you miss. With Marvin,
Gerald,
it was him and Jamal Lewis coming downhill, A or B gap. Marvin knew he's on B. A, B, he might get to the C because Mook, as much as crazy you say you were a linebacker, you wasn't playing in space. You were box to box, downhill, knocking people's face off. So when you're a train on the track, it's easy to come down and have that thunder. But when you have to put a little bit of wiggle in it and indecision, like it's you're not gonna get that every single time.
You make a great point on that, man, because when I think back on my college and even professional
hey man,
career,
hold on, time out, Tony.
I'll talk about running backs. I'll talk about running backs.
Hold on, Tony. Tony, you still got concussions when you used to knock yourself out. Go ahead. All right, keep going.
Oh hell yeah! But check it out.
You didn't know that stuff.
Did I get out the game though?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
no.
He
We
back
grab
there
each
knocking
other-
his own
grab
self
each
out.
other and pulled each other back to the huddle and said, hey, overcover before.
What I would do, I would look at Train and be like, "Hey, bro, you go down this time."
And that was just like what we did because I didn't want to come out in the game. There's no way that I wanted to let anybody know that they rattled my cage.
Heck
Or
no.
they got under me enough to
Heck no.
knock me out the game. It was really like a macho thing. Like, there's no way Tony's gonna say, "Oh yeah, Jamal Lewis has ran me over," and
Heck no.
you
I mean,
found a way up. Like
think about JJ Johnson, Travis Stevens, Travis Henry, you named Jamal Lewis, Deuce McAllister, God, yeah. I mean, all of these, to your point, and I didn't even think about it until you said that, the confined space. It's a reason Wayne Davis tackling record never be broken at University of Alabama.
Yeah.
It's a reason that Wayne Davis still holds the title for number of tackles. You would never.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wayne Davis. Wayne Davis. You mean Ben Davis' daddy?
I do. As crazy as that is.
Wait a minute.
He's still.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Look it up.
Let me. I got to drink. Wait, hold on.
Look it up. Look it up. Not gonna happen.
Wait. You said everybody had to drink to that. Wayne Davis, I understand, but I did not correlate the two. So you saying that Wayne Davis got the record for tackles at Alabama, but Ben can't get in the game.
He graduated.
Ben's still on the
team. Steve, check this out, man. I told you you're gonna get me in trouble, man. I have purposely stayed away from this conversation.
Steve, why y'all killing? So
stop killing this man's confidence.
Hey,
how many guys have played in front of Ben that's in the NFL?
Everybody.
Right? Some of us aren't. It's not in the cards to be what your daddy was.
He was so highly
Hold on.
No, this right here. No, let me say it.
All right, so let me put it to you like this, right? So everybody always talk about buses in the NFL. Like, that guy was a bus. That guy was a bus. All right, good. It's not his fault that you drafted him that high. It's not Ben Davis's fault that he was a 5-star, right? He didn't say I'm a 5-star player. Somebody gave that to him. Gave that title to him. So if you didn't live up to it, hey, why don't y'all check the recruiting services? Why don't y'all check the coaches that said that? Like, check them. The kid is what he is.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think for me, every Friday, every Saturday morning, Tuscaloosa News, Ben Davis. I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to see this guy. And then when I saw him in person, he is the biggest linebacker we got. And I'm like, this dude is gonna tear some people apart. First year, second year. And then I think I'm so disappointed because the media was like, man, this is gonna be Ben Davis coming out here because he's doing so much in practice. He's doing this, and then next thing you know, Will Anderson, a freshman, is the starting outside linebacker. I'm like, Ben, what the hell are you doing? Something ain't right.
You just made a big point.
And Smoke has always been the person of the two of the brothers. We brothers. Smoke has always been a person to keep it real. I've always been the one. Let me say this, Steve, just in case I got some Pickens County people on the phone. Ben is a real good dude. I have been disappointed. I expected to see more out of him, but what I can say is what I do say about him. He didn't walk away from the game.
He did
transfer. He did stay in, and Saban has said some good stuff about him. And I think it has been just a talent gap. But I will say this also: he is the first person that's come through that program from Pickens County. Myself, Michael Williams, and you can name some other people that didn't get there, wasn't starters, contributors, and make it to the league. So he killed it. We had a streak going. Now we got
okay, well, let me say this. Well, this what you're wrong about, though, Tony. This what you're wrong about. You just said you and Smoke are brothers. Y'all must have different daddies because that dude black. I don't care what you say.
Listen, he better looking. That's my cousin. I'm the island's Dixon. He
that makes sense.
On this, Gerald, see, I can tell that you really into yourself because I see a Deion Sanders jersey, but I see all these fours in the back. And then what are you doing?
All right, so really, I only put it like you see Deion's jersey's not framed, right?
See.
The only jerseys that are framed in my house are me, right? everybody else that give me a jersey, they get tacked up on the wall, right? I got a bunch of them around here, but Prime is a guy that I always looked up to, and I thought his game was elite.
Mhm.
And every jersey up has a meaning behind it. I just don't put jerseys up just to put it up. That's the Orange Bowl one, Independence Bowl one, the one that I picked off Eli a couple of times, Player of the Week. So they're up for a reason. That's just what it is.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's
That
up.
politically correct answer, man.
Yeah,
We're in the sportscast, Gerald.
see, Mark,
I told you we can.
you can't always make it about yourself, man.
I told you we can.
Hey,
All right,
this is the jersey I wore when I met Barack Obama. I wore this jersey.
Wait, man. Mark.
So Steve, I'm gonna tell you
Sasha
how humble that Tony Dixon is, right? So we met up last year, Palm at
Yeah.
right, me, you, Marvin. So one of my wife's best friends, husband, is a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, and Tony just happened to walk up and we're sitting there talking, and I said, yeah, that's Tony Dixon, and he's like, and you can see, when people are thinking, they're like, hold on, that can't be him, and Tony's just sitting there just having a conversation, talking about what he's doing now and everything, and I'm like, dude, just stop, man. And tell him that you Tony Dixon, the starting safety for the Cowboys at Roy Williams, sign a man autograph so you can keep going. He's just sitting there like, yeah, I'm just, trying to do this, and I'm in this world, and I'm doing that. I'm like, Tony, just let him know you're the second round draft pick, dude. So,
Hey man, but you know what? I like that. But there's nothing like Marvin Cousin. Marvin knows every damn body. I mean, he got a name drop.
Hold on, time out, Steve.
He know
Steve.
Jesus. He know Jesus' cousin. I'm like, how do you know?
Hey, Steve.
That's true, right, Justin?
Hey, hold on. Hey,
Right.
Steve, listen though. Tony and TJ gonna attest to this. If somebody called me and asked me for somebody's number and I don't have it, TJ and Tony, who they gonna call next to ask for the number?
Smoke.
Wow.
you know what, Steve? And the reason why that I have a lot of guys' numbers is when I went down to Bama. I mean, I'm 14 hours away from home. Those guys really, like I said, put their arms around me and gave me something that I needed at that time. Right? I just lost my sister months before that, and I was in a tough place where I was just angry. You ever they had like a chip on their shoulder? Steve, I had a boulder on my shoulder, like weighing me down. And if you came and said something to me, yeah, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
And those guys just really helped me in a point in my life in terms of just maturity and understanding that it's bigger than just you. It's really us. And if you allow us to help you, we will through this tough point. And
But you know, if I had to do a little analysis, I would say that Tony Brown is probably the second coming of you.
Tony Brown?
Is it Tony? Is it Brown? Yeah, he plays for
Green Bay.
What's his name? I'm
Tony
sorry.
Brown. He last stop he was in Green Bay.
You talking about the
Tony Brown. Are you familiar with Tony Brown?
Yeah, Tony and I used. You know what? So here's a crazy story with Tony. Like Tony's different, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
And when I went down to Bama when I was working for the Bills, and I did a pro day. And I, testing all the guys, checking out all the prospect down there. So myself and I was like Marcel Darius was down there. So we hanging out, and one of the coaches grabbed me and said, "Hey, you know what? See that young man over there?" And I said, who? Yeah, I knew who he was, but I never really got into him because I'm not one to go around and just start talking to everybody and say, "Hey, I used to play here. You guys aren't doing A, B, and C together." And this is the time that he had gotten a little bit of trouble, and I believe he was kicked off the team for
a lot bit.
Right. Just for being different. So one of the people that knew me knew that, our past wasn't the same, but we had issues of, just fitting in and dealing with people on a regular basis. And I got to the point that we used to text a lot and sit down and mentor him, just on doing the right things. And over the couple of years, we've lost contact with each other, but those are some of the things that I did behind the scenes that I never really want to say, oh, yeah, I did. But for guys like that, you got to put your arms around them.
Yeah.
And do what, and that's why I got into coaching.
You know what?
That's
That's
the whole part of evaluating players and being in the building, because like, a lot of us are misunderstood, and it's not a lot of us that's going to open up to people and say this is the problem with me. But if you understand people in general and you can see someone going through a tough situation, it's our jobs to put our arms around them and help them and cultivate them and develop them into mature adults. Because look at, I mean, Tony's had what, a 3 or 4 year career in the NFL.
mm-hmm. You said, hold on. You said if you see some guys going through some stuff, put your arms around them. Well, you can't be doing all that here in Atlanta now. You just can't do that. You take it the wrong way. I tried it several times, and none, that didn't work out well at all. No.
But it's so true.
Relationships.
If you walk with a person and talk with a person long enough, and they get comfortable enough with you, because we didn't know. Look, we talked about Smoke when he first showed up for that recruiting trip, and I was assigned to take him around, and I walked up and saw him. I'm like, what in the hell am I gonna do with him this weekend? Because we are totally different. I'm like, I can't relate to this cat, man. You know, but and growing up in the South, you know, it's a different mentality than what Smoke grew up in. I mean, we trust quicker than someone like Smoke would trust us, right? So he taught me a whole lot, especially that difference, and that's why we're cool today. But to the point he just made about Tony, he's just passing it down. He's just paying it forward, man. And that's and Steve, you know, you've done that whether you know it or not. I know you didn't go to Alabama, but you know, the time seeing you over at Stillman, you know, I know this is a separate show, but even when me, TJ was doing the camp, and you, Marvin, helping us with the football camp back home.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a surprise that it's coming full circle. We're on a call today.
Hey, Tony.
Hey,
Tony. Steve putting their arm around people. This is what you gonna get when Steve putting their arm around people.
What you gonna get when he?
Hey, that's what you get when Steve putting their arm around.
Hey man, why you on my characters, man? Why you on my
characters? Have y'all seen that character?
To iCloud.
If y'all hadn't seen that character on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
No.
Hey man, hey, why you want stepdaddy, man? Why you want stepdaddy? Leave stepdaddy alone.
Oh my God.
I mean, I go back to you on Comic View on BET.
Hey man, look, let me tell you something, man.
That's how far back I go from remembering you when you first came out, when you had hair.
I remember that.
We used to come up from behind the couch.
Hey man,
hey, I tried to get him to do that step show that he did a while back, but he won't do it.
Yeah. You know why? Because my knees are like Marvin's right now.
But dude, bro, it's Founders Day. Come on.
No, my knees set up like Marvin's right now. Hell no.
Well, if that's the case, you're doing the best thing sitting in that chair.
Hey Steve, you know what? With what we're going on right now in the world, I wish that some of y'all comedians would come up with like a weekend show or something like that, just to kind of ease the tension of the world and just bring some more laughter.
Positive.
To us, you know what I mean? Because
you know what, we've tried that, man, but because of of course the Corona protocol and all that type of stuff, man, it's very hard for us to have crowds being around. Of course, I've been doing a lot of virtual shows, but other than that, nobody's really going out right now because they're not letting crowds assemble and all that. And it's a sad thing. So everybody's hands are tied, But I appreciate the sentiment, man. And when the world opens back up, you'll see me right back out there. I
miss
Steve.
I miss Comic View.
Hey,
Steve.
Some good stuff.
I don't even see like the young talent of like comedians coming through anymore.
Right. Because you know what, man. The thing is. All of the old great talents, they're not. We're still doing our thing, but now it's all about the social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say it's so bad now, you can make a funny video on Instagram and put your title as a comedian. People will book you.
Right.
And you haven't told not one joke or written a joke, and that's just what it is. It's all about
Yeah, you're right.
popularity now. It's like with the coaches. You're not qualified for the position, but if you're making a little noise or people are talking about you, then you can possibly be booked for these comedy clubs. Now, the bad part is somebody who's never gone to a comedy show come to see you and you're garbage, and that's the first comedy show they see. They'll be like, I'm never going back. So that's just what it is. And a lot of comedy clubs are closing down because of that.
Hey, Steve, I got to tell you something, Steve.
Oh, here we go.
The funniest thing I ever seen was you performing at the Jade. When you did that joke, when you had that cigarette coming up, acting like you was coming up from behind that couch.
Oh, my God.
What the hell you been? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know that was about 20 years ago, but man, one of the funniest things, brother.
Anytime you put those teeth in, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin,
yes.
Listen, let's get to the prediction because I don't want to talk to these guys no more.
I got a couple of things.
My past.
I'm about to turn to that. One thing, speaking of older comedians, I don't know if y'all knew this. Sinbad is not doing too well right now.
Right.
He just had a stroke. His family has just asked that everybody be respectful of their privacy, but to keep him in your prayers. And Sinbad has been a guy that I've respected and loved for years. So yeah, I wanted to throw that out.
Yeah.
Steve, that's what's up. I remember when y'all used to even like travel together. I remember when I lived in White Oak, we had, what's my man out of DC? Light skin cat. Is it Red?
Red Grant.
Yeah, Red.
And then the other cat that was on How to Be a Player, light skin cat.
D Ray, I think it's D Ray.
All of them dudes was living in an apartment across from us.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you guys used to travel together.
Yeah, we used to have to share rooms together and all that, man. So it was a struggle back in the day, man.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate y'all, man. But go ahead, I ain't gonna hold you up no longer.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, let's get to the predictions, man. I'm ready.
Real quick.
Couple more questions. I got a question for Gerald.
Real quick. Yeah. We ask this every week on each of the shows of all of our guests. What was it like for each of you hearing your name called for the first time over Bryant-Denny Stadium speakers?
Mine was awful because I was stealing and they caught my ass and if you're driving a 1982 Ford something, somebody's breaking in your car and it was my ass.
Yeah, you were in the crimson white the next day. I remember.
No, it was me and Antonio. What's his name?
Hunter Brown.
No,
Marvin, teammate, the running back,
the running back. Yeah, that guy called stealing radios.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Hey Tony, did he come in with y'all?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I've never heard anything but talent come out there, man.
Bro, beast.
He got caught stealing radios on the campus.
Steve, the best thing for that young fella, he should have went to
Auburn.
Or just go somewhere away from Tuscaloosa because he got
Nope. What he should have did was got him a Kenwood instead of a JVC. He would have been in there.
You ain't right.
Hey, Smoke. He was wrecking shop in practice, bro.
I heard about
wrecking shop. Yeah, one of the best talents that never had a chance that we never saw.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
There was a question for me. Let me shoot it to you right now. If you're.
Oh, Gerald, question? Yeah. Yes. Tell me what was your which was better, the CFL or the XFL level of play?
XFL by far.
Why?
The level of talent, right? So when you talk about the CFL, you got to also remember there's a ratio. So you have to have Canadians on the field each time, right? And when you're talking about the XFL, the talent level is so high because on an NFL team, you're only going to have 63-man rosters, right? So the 64th best player, right, he's in the XFL, right? So that talent level is much higher than the CFL on a position-to-position.
Wow, that's interesting. And do you think like the reemergence of the XFL will do better this time than the first time around?
I believe so because when you look at it, you got the right like recipe for success. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, everything was going at a good level, right? So going around the third time through, you'd want to say that the owners and whoever they're going to hire to run the football side can put together a proper plan and execute it to get football back in the spring, because this is a play it's missing, right? Everyone loves football, and there's enough football players out there to form a proper league, and with enough talent evaluators and coaches to get the young people playing in the right way in an efficient way, and getting them back to wherever they want to get to, if that's the NFL or whatever. Because you see a lot of the product that we had in the XFL making it to the NFL, like the quarterback.
I got a quick question for you, Gerald. When you speak about the talent level, given what happened with the pandemic this year, and a lot of teams didn't get to bring in a lot of guys that they normally would have brought in due to the pandemic. So now you have a surplus of talent that's going to be sitting out there that has not been evaluated yet. And then you look at the issue of the NCAA saying that guys can come back and play another year. So it's like you're creating a void on both ends. Like, you're going to get guys who are probably going to stay in college that extra year that normally would be coming out, but you still have the surplus of guys who came out last year and just didn't get a shot. So where does the XFL fall in the middle of all that?
Well, let me give you an example, because I think examples probably tell the truth the most, right? Because I can give you my opinion, I can be dead tail wrong. So there's a young man named Kenny Robinson that was at the University of Virginia. He had transferred from, I forget whatever school that he transferred from. But he was also in that protocol that we talked about, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And I was put on a case by Doug Whaley and Oliver Luck, the commissioner at that time. They said, you know what, Smoke, we need that young man in the XFL. You need to go sit down and talk to him and his family. They were there at a workout at the St. James place out in Virginia. So I put on my recruiting hat. I said, okay, good. If my boss said I got to go get this, I got to go get it. So we sat down and we talked, and I said, okay, you can transfer and go back to school, right? And get drafted in whatever round that you're going to get drafted, right? But if you're playing against grown men in a professional league, you're helping yourself out. You're becoming a professional. The hardest thing to do when in your rookie year, and Tony, you can attest for this, and even TJ, is it's leaving the structure of college, right? You're now on your own. You don't have the training table there for 3 meals and someone to tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. So if you're a young person and you have that opportunity to go play professional ball and still get drafted, because he still got drafted in the 5th round by the Carolina Panthers, and he's active now on their roster, Kenny Robinson, go do that. Like, who wants to stick around and play college ball while you can get some money and get closer to your dreams of playing professional ball and still getting evaluated and being a professional? So that was my case. If you're a young guy and you've had enough with school and you said, you know what, I want to go play, and you can't get to the NFL right there because you have the eligibility in the NCAA, which is one of the biggest mockeries in the world in terms of holding young people back, you go play pro ball and get it done.
Yeah,
thank you.
Let's go back to that question, guys, that I asked earlier. What did it feel like to each of you when you first heard your name being called over Bryant-Denny Stadium speakers? And we'll start with Gerald.
Okay. Oh, man. So the young guy got to go first. All right.
Yes, sir.
For me, I'm going to tell you the truth. I can't remember the first time that I heard my name getting called because I didn't really care. Right? I was out there playing. Like a lot of that whole 1999 season, my freshman year, I don't know if Marvin or we just played ball, and like none of us remember oh yeah, we just beat Florida twice and we ran off 7 or 8 games in a row and we didn't lose, and we just lost to the national champions the year before with Tom Brady, and we're a young group. So to hear my name being called, I never really paid attention to it. I was out there trying to just ball and make sure that I didn't let Tony down and Tony give me that look. Or Marvin would catch me later on and put me in a stranglehold, or
I believe that. I believe it. What about you, Tony?
I'm like Smoke. I can't remember the first time my name was called. I do remember the first game. Like, my first game was, even though I wasn't playing, but just walking out of the tunnel for the first time. That's when we were still playing Legion Field, Birmingham. It was against University of Houston. I just remember walking out and just, even though I've been through training camp practices and you name it, but when I walked out and I just walked out that tunnel, I know I stopped for a moment and just looked around. I was like, I can't believe I'm here. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was just one of those moments. But to the Smoke's point, it's like it's amazing the ability that you have to just be in the moment and not hear anything from the crowd or anything around you, but you hear your teammates, right? Or you hear whatever that's going on. But the first time walking down that tunnel, it was very surreal, man. It was a dream come true. And at that point I was like, hey, I want that
Yeah,
crowd to be
yeah.
shouting my name. So I gotta go ahead and ball.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, TJ?
DJ sleep.
He on mute.
I think TJ driving back home.
He's
on
checked
mute.
out, man.
Yeah, he might be checked. He on mute though.
Yeah, he's done.
All right. Well, if we get him back, we'll ask him. But all right, let's move on to predictions. Great time of the show. I think we're still playing this weekend, right? COVID hadn't stopped it this time.
We'll see.
Good matchup of the weekend. Number 9, Indiana versus number 3, Ohio State. We'll start with you, Gerald, and then we'll go to Tony, Marvin, and whenever Steve decides to get back.
Oh, Buckeyes big, man. I don't think that's going to be close.
Yeah, Buckeyes me, man.
Well, I hope it ain't too bad, 'cause I took the points on Indiana side.
Good luck.
Do y'all
Hey man,
feel
I
like-
already put that ticket in.
Good luck. You and Kirby Smart's the only ones that don't really believe in Justin Fields. Thanks.
I didn't say I don't believe in him. I just think that line was extremely high. So, I know that they're not going to win. I just don't need him to go out there and get killed. Put up a little bit of fight. That's all I need him to do.
Y'all put up the fight. Go ahead.
All right, Steve, who you got? Indiana versus Ohio State.
Honestly, I'm not sleeping on Indiana because Indiana's been looking really good, man. And I think they're going to give Ohio State a fight. It's a toss-up, but in a close one, closer than what people think, it's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be close, though.
I like that.
I hope it's close.
Or don't be surprised if it's an upset now. Don't be surprised because for years, Indiana has played Ohio State pretty close.
They really have, yeah.
And then they'll make a couple of mistakes and then the game get blown away. But
Right.
Ohio State, Bama, and Clemson, all they're doing is ready for that Final Four, man. Good luck.
You're right. Next game.
Who was the third one then? Who was the third? You said Ohio State, Bama, and Clemson. Who's the third one?
You said the third one. He named 3, man.
No, I mean the fourth
count.
one. I'm sorry, the fourth one. My man. I'm losing my mind. The fourth one.
Wow.
Well, when you look at it, you're going to say Cincinnati's probably going to go undefeated, and everybody wants that Cinderella story, so they're going to go in there and get
that ass beat and get beat to damn death.
True. That actually brings me to our next game. Cincinnati is going to be playing UCF. This could be a trap game. What do y'all feel like? Gerald, you first.
A trap game? Somebody down there selling dope? Never mind.
Cincinnati's on a whole nother level. I'm taking Cincinnati.
Tony?
Yeah, I can't walk away from Cincinnati on that one either.
Marvin,
I took Cincinnati on my ticket, so.
Steve?
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Okay. All right. Clemson versus Florida State. Gerald?
Yeah, unless they get Bobby or Jimbo back in that role as a coach, yeah, Coach Sweeney's going to mop those guys up, man.
Yeah, that's not even what we're talking about.
Trevor Lawrence is back this week, too. So.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Not that
wait a minute. Y'all giving Trevor Lawrence all his credit, which he's a great quarterback. But that freshman, he's looking good too now.
He looked really good.
Steve, he's different. We're looking at maybe a Cam Newton-ish player.
Right.
With a different mindset, right? Not a me mindset, a we concept.
Yep.
Ability to throw the ball better. Now he's a freshman, so I'm still watching him, but he's different.
But now hold on, wait a minute. He is Cam Newton-ish. He just don't dress like Cam. Nobody dresses like Cam. Shit.
Man, Prince did.
I respect Cam too much to even crush him, man. He's the best player in the SEC history. Keep going.
Oof,
All right.
Justin.
What about Dresser though? What about Dresser? Huh?
Tony Dixon was the best dresser in the SEC.
Listen, he got it. The man got his own. You aren't you in Atlanta?
Cam the best dressed nanny.
He got his own style, man.
Hey man, no, Cam, my dude. I love Cam. I love Cam. Don't get me wrong, but that dress code is awful. I don't give a damn.
Beyond awful.
Hey Steve, I'm gonna give you the best dressed player in the NFL right now.
Who?
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, whoever wants to step in there, he blowing you out the water. Sharp. I think I'm gonna start dressing myself, but Ty got it.
Yeah, I see you got your Mr. Rogers sweater on over there. I see you. I see.
I'm 40 years old, man. I'm a grown up. I don't play it. I am it.
Hey man, I got on a polo. It's a polo.
Yeah, Marvin, you got a polo on, but you ain't got no bottoms on.
Hey Marvin, let me ask you a question. You got on polo and you're sitting there selling polo. How much money polo giving you to wear that?
Ain't giving me nothing to wear, man. It was a gift. I just put it on for this show so I can look halfway decent for you, brother.
They just went through the roof because you gave them a little easy shout out. Keep going.
Man, that little shout out, they stock through the roof. I don't know. That's a setup.
Interesting game this weekend. Rivalry game. Oklahoma State at number 14 versus Oklahoma. Gerald.
Ooh, okay. Coach Gundy versus Lincoln.
Ain't nobody watching that game.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State.
Tony.
Sooners.
Steve.
I'm going with the coach with the mullet in 2020.
The mullet wins. Marvin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State now. And if you see, I changed my background to all my picks that I actually wagered on in Vegas this week. So these are all my picks that I wagered this week. So hey, God, please let my ticket hit.
All right. Matter of fact, one of those picks is up next. Number 10, Wisconsin versus number 19, Northwestern. Gerald.
You know what? I love Coach Fitzgerald, but I'm going to go ahead and roll with Wisconsin.
Tony?
Wisconsin, man.
Steve?
What did you say, Wisconsin? Did you say number 2, Wisconsin?
Number 10, Wisconsin versus
I'm about to say when, where? I'm going Wisconsin.
All right.
Well, you already see what's on my screen. You see Wisconsin up there already. So, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get some money. I need to win. I need to win back some of this money I done lost all season. I've been getting killed this year.
Okay, Justin,
yes.
Justin, we need to talk because why the hell Marvin got a green screen and we don't?
Wait a minute, Marvin. Marvin's got more of the budget than we do, I think.
Damn.
Man,
don't let Steve fool you. Steve fool you.
Steve,
you guys just 2 hours now. I'm telling you, somebody's getting billed.
Yeah.
Steve, we're gonna have to put our Cash App account on here on the screen.
That's something.
All right.
Because 2 hours ain't easy. I'm telling you, somebody getting booked.
Yeah.
We wrapping it up, Coach. We wrapping it up.
We got it. All right. Here's an interesting game: LSU versus Arkansas.
That's not interesting.
That's a game nobody's watching.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Arkansas, man. I like Coach Pittman.
Yeah.
And whatever they got going on down there at LSU, I hope they figure it out. Maybe never.
Hey, Gerald, you know what? You got a point with Arkansas. Now, Arkansas, I think, believe it or not, they were talking about giving their coach the coach of the year in the SEC. He's turning them around. He's turning around. So I'm taking Arkansas.
Steve, Sam Pittman, one of the better coaches in America. Whenever you have time, go back and just research where he's been, his players in the NFL, and when he leaves a school, what they look like, and when he gets to another one, what they do. Beast recruiter, great teacher, offensive line guru.
I'm gonna pick Arkansas because they might pull what they pulled in '98. TJ and Tony know what I'm talking about. When half the team got food poisoning in Arkansas, caught that 41-10 L down there.
Man, I'm trying to forget that. All right, for us, the game of the weekend, number 1, Alabama versus Kentucky. Gerald, what you get? Well, of course, we know who's going to win, but what are you looking for in this game?
I'm I'm looking for that defensive line really taking back over the line of scrimmage, and those guys up front really commanding the line of scrimmage on both ends, right? So if you can't do that against Kentucky, good luck.
True. Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Gerald. At this point, you're just trying to see that you're getting better every week. You know, that you've been in that film room, you actually, you know, getting better at some of your takes. I'm really looking at defense, man. It's been some mishaps on that defense where you're sitting there like, what in the hell are you looking at? So I'm hoping they can clean some of that up this week, because Kentucky is really not a bad team.
Yeah.
Overall, they don't have the talent to sustain, so it should be an easy win. But we just need to work on some of our fundamentals and get ready for the big boys.
Marvin, what do you think?
We definitely got to work on fundamentals. You know, I'm starting to think that some of these guys do what I used to do. On Thursday nights, we used to have film study over at the center where we used to live. I just used to go for the wings.
You just went for the wings. That's all I just went for the. You only came for the wings, man.
I just went for the wings.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, yeah, but you got to be making improvements at this point, because you got to look at it. SEC championship game is only a few weeks out, and it looks like we're on a collision course to play Florida. Dan Mullen has that team improving on a week-to-week basis. So, you know you're going to get a dynamic offense from a quarterback who's improving week in and week out, and they're starting to talk this Heisman talk with him. So that defense has to make some tremendous strides before December the 19th, or we're going to be in trouble.
You know what? With me, I'm going to say, of course, Alabama's going to win. But what I'm looking at, what I'm excited to see is how the defense react. They had 2 weeks off to fix all of the missed pieces and missed assignments and all that. But if they come back and they're not making tackles and they're still blowing coverages and all that, somebody needs to be fired. That's just simple as that. So I'm not looking at. I'm just looking at the defense. We can keep the defense on the field the whole goddamn game. I want to see them.
Real quick, as defensive backs, what do y'all think about Malachi Moore?
He Malachi Moore. Oh.
Number 13 looks like a cross between George Teague and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
He's a freshman too, right?
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. So, Gerald, what do you think about Malachi Moore?
I like Malachi. I think when you study Nick Saban's defense, there's certain positions that you want to be your better players, right? And the safeties and that money player that he is, or the star player.
Star.
Got to be an impactful player, and as a true freshman, you see him getting better weekly, right? Yeah. I don't know how highly he was recruited, but when you have length, ball skills, anticipation, and ability to finish plays, I really like him. I think Bama got a good nickel. For the next few years.
Hey, Justin, can I ask a question, Justin, real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, a real important question. Do y'all think they're gonna bring NCAA college football back? Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I've never owned a video game system my entire life, so I can't even comment on that.
I still got my Atari. I'm waiting on it to come on back.
What's up?
Pay the players they're just due and bring it back. But I mean,
yeah, I think that O'Bannon lawsuit pretty much killed any hopes of that game coming back. So,
well, all right. Before we close, Marvin, give us an update on your book, how we can get it, all the good things that are going on with it right now.
Book still doing numbers, still doing solid work with that, man. You can get the book at 40plusstrong.com. That's the number 40. And then spell out plusstrong.com. Great tool, great resource. And if you follow me on Instagram at Constant45, you'll see more and more people who've been using it and how it's been impacting them on their fitness journey, man. You'll see some remarkable stories. And I post them every day when they send them to me. You know, it's truly a tool that's changing lives.
That's what's up. Glad to hear it. Program notes. Anybody who's listening, if you're into in-depth college football analysis, the Tyler Turner Show is on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Central. If you want to talk about the NFL, college, and the Giants, the Jones and Rojo Show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central is the show for you. Next week is Iron Bowl week. And Marvin, you want to go ahead and give a little glimpse of what we're going to be getting into?
You set that up.
Okay, I was just trying to give you. I know how you like to talk.
We
I know you like
we
to talk, but
we gonna be getting into absolutely nothing. We gonna that's it. We gonna win. That's it. That's what we gonna get into. A
Now,
win.
you know what? He got Steve. We got guests coming in. He brought one from the other side. He brought one from the dark
From the
side.
other side, you
I did.
you must have brought Updike back. And he did. You
Come on, Lazarus. First of all, anybody who's been on the show, former Alabama guys, I invite y'all to come back next week to talk about Iron Bowl. But next week we got Rashad Johnson for us, and then we got Gerard Powers for them. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, Najee Harris is the semifinalist for the Collegiate Man of the Year award. Wanted to give him a shout out there. All right, real quick, guys, if you would give us some closing remarks, how we can find you on social media, and then what's next for y'all. We'll start with Gerald.
You know what? I'm a disappearing act on social media, man. I like to somewhat keep it private. I mean, I'm not subscribing to all that other stuff.
You damn sure be on that Pornhub. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have tagged you a couple of times, but I guess you're not on there too much. So I got you.
I do a podcast on Thursdays, and I'll show you. I'll shoot you the link. But
yeah, please do.
That's all I got going on right now.
I'm waiting to be a guest on that too.
What's the name of the podcast? What's the name of it?
You know what? I don't even. I'm all about not giving free subscriptions, man. I'm just a guest. If it was mine, I'll sell it.
I understand. I got you.
Gerald don't want us on his podcast.
No, I want to be on your. I want to be on yours too, Steve. You and the comedians. I want to be on that too.
So, you know what, Steve? It's not my podcast, right? It's just I went on there once. They took a liking what I had going on, and they just asked me to come back weekly.
Well, hold on. You saying it ain't your podcast? Do you think this is me, Justin, and Marvin podcast? The dude that do this podcast in Justin's damn closet tied up. This ain't our podcast. We just took it
over. That's what we're doing to Pete Golden next too. All right, Tony.
Not killing Pete, man. Let Pete live.
The audience loves it. All right, Tony, what's going on with you next? How can we find you on social media, and any closing remarks?
Oh man, I'm still, like I say, I'm a corporate man, so I'm doing my thing on that. Still with PepsiCo, still moving up the ladder on that. I'm on social media, mostly LinkedIn, but I'm not avid on there in terms of Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
So. Tony, tell the people where you at. You a manager at Costco. You tell me you corporate man. Give the people your social media, man.
All right.
I'm an investor in Costco.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
I feel you.
All right.
I think.
Well, man, before we get out of here, I gotta say this to y'all, man. All three of y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Been like brothers. I've been knowing y'all for over 20 years, man. People, when people ask me about my experience at Alabama, a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them. I talk to these guys on a regular basis still 20 plus years later. They don't believe
that. I don't believe that. They don't like you.
You can ask, hey, we all still talk on a regular basis, man. It was a brotherhood. It was nothing but love. It's been love the entire time, man. So again, man, I just want to thank y'all for spending this time with us, man. We truly do appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all for coming on, man. We appreciate y'all, man.
Thank y'all.
Steve, I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, most definitely. We appreciate you guys and everything that y'all brought to the table. I love watching y'all when I was a student there, man. So always glad to get back with you guys and see what's going on with y'all. Excellent stories. Oh, TJ's back.
Really?
TJ, you want to give us some closing words?
Hey, listen, TJ.
Call TJ bro man from the 5th floor. He just showed up.
Got his sandwich in hand.
Right.
TJ had to put my
oh my God,
feet, man.
Hey, TJ thought it was gonna be some women on. He put on his chain and everything.
But yeah, TJ, thanks for coming on, man. We had a blast as always, man. If you would give us some parting words, and then tell us also how we can find you on social media.
Y'all run him off?
His mouth is moving, but I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I
Is
think
he
you got-
muted?
Right. Yeah.
Turn your mic on, man.
Censorship.
Oh my God.
Can you hear me
Tony's
now?
background.
Now,
Wait.
Coyote.
Hear me
Don't
now.
move. Don't
Can
move.
you hear me now? All right,
Can you
man.
hear me
I'm
now?
gonna leave my man TJ
Go
alone,
ahead, Terry.
dude. I'm gonna have to jump on you, dude. Stop.
I know my phone cut off, but hey, I appreciate it, man. Like you said, these guys like brothers, and like you said, we always have a good time. We always have fun. Like I said, I remember no time we had no football camps, man. We had a lot of great times and got a chance to educate a lot of young kids. So I appreciate it.
Most
Thank
definitely,
you,
man.
brother.
Glad to have y'all on. All right, right before we go, real quick, roll tide.
Roll Tide.